everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group, family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
That's right, and welcome to another episode. And this episode, this is a fun one because everyone who's been listening to our episodes and to previous podcasts, you know, we've always talked about this, our horror story, the 48 unit.
Right.
But we've been working on the refinance, and this episode is entitled Our 48 Unit Refinance. The numbers.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so a lot of people like to hear the numbers and understand what it looks like. I mean, even us, this is our first kind of full cycle deal where we bought it, rehabbed it, stabilized it, and then went through a refinance. So even us, the numbers are new. We didn't know what to expect for the refinance closing costs. We didn't know what to expect for the mortgage payment, what the appraisal was coming in. We had our own assumptions. We've been in real estate for a long time. So of course, we felt like we feel pretty good about what we're doing. We had partners and everything. And it turned out better than we actually anticipated in the end, because we actually thought the full 56 unit would be on the high end where the 48 unit came in.
Right.
So that was a true win. But anyways, we wanted to share it with you because a lot of people like to hear the kind of the behind the scene numbers so that you can see, hey, this is what they did. And not everybody shares the numbers, but you know, that's what we're here for. So go ahead, Flip. You want to talk through it?
So in typical fashion, for those of you that if you've not listened to any of our podcasts before, let me tell you one thing real quickly. If you remember the Donnie and Marie show, you remember that show?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know Donnie and Marie, yes.
Yeah. You're a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll.
Okay.
Right? She's left brain. I'm right brain. And so here are the numbers. Our purchase price was $1,114,285.71. The acquisition closing cost was $4,749.86. And the renovation, this cracked me up, is $530. So $570,530.15. So the all-in, for those of you keeping score at home, is $1,689,565.72.
What? I had to figure it out. And when I figure it out, I want the real numbers.
I'll give you 28 cents. Let's round it up to 566. But now the appraisal came in at $3.9 million.
Yeah. Well, I haven't, the lender told us, I think we just got docs the other day with the appraisal in it.
All right.
And so I'm sure it might not be an even $3.9 million, but he did some backwards math and he goes, ooh, it looks like it came in around 3.9. I was like, bam.
$3.9, $435.43.
Just 3.9 for now, because I did not find the appraisal before this podcast.
So anyway, the all-in was just under 1.7, right? What the all-in for the purchase, acquisition, renovation, just under 1.7. The appraisal came in, like you had said, we were hoping the 56 unit was going to be around $4 million.
Yes. Well, we had that, and that was on the high end. We felt like it was going to be between 3 and 4 million once we were all said and done, and that we would be all in around the 2.23 mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the appraisal on just the 48 unit came in at 3.9.
Yes.
So we were very happy.
Yeah.
With it.
Super excited. Yeah. And so now and for those of you somebody did Facebook message me and say, hey, you know, one of the cool things that you could do on, for those of us who do watch the YouTube videos is you can actually put like this information on there, right?
The screen,
So so as they're listening, they can actually see the numbers. So for those of you who are listening, sorry, you're not going to get that, but you actually got the numbers right here verbally. But the YouTube, I don't know how easy it is for you when you edit. You can just throw the numbers.
We'll have to tell the...
You're the editor.
I was going to say, we'll have to tell the guy that edits these things.
So he's right. So I'll take over for the next numbers. So our loan came in at $2,730,000. So after figuring that piece out, the appraisal and the loan amount, then we calculated the interest. How much interest did we pay our private money lenders on this deal? It was
this one. I'm sorry, I interrupt. When I read this number, that's a big number.
That's a big number. We're actually doing a separate podcast just because of that number.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So how much did we pay our private investors?
$365,712.96.
96 cents.
And then our refinance costs without the prepaid, so we took all the prepaids out, which are taxes and insurance. Actual closing cost was $58,095.26. So now our new all-in, after we add in the private money lender interest or our investor interest, and then our refinance closing costs, our new all-in is $2,113,373.94. But it's still appraised at 3.9 million. Right. I wish it was 9.3 million. I was getting a little dyslexic there. After our new all-in, we still have almost $1.2 million in equity. Mm-hmm. The rest was distributed to us. So it was a total profit of $1,786,626.06.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I believe I get the 6 cents.
That's all you get.
She gets the rest.
Because I invest, you spend. Yeah, I ain't letting you spend.
I believe she said, don't spend this all in one place.
Well, and that's a nice thing. There is like almost 1.2 just locked up. Can't do anything with that. So, that's a really nice thing. So the other numbers I did for you on this episode, real quick, are just some pictures of the gross income, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're talking about freedom through passive income.
Right.
So our gross income, $35,000. Our average monthly expenses at this point in time, now that it's stabilized, is about $15,000. And as a general rule, 40 to 50% of your gross income is always going to be expenses. Right. So this is right in line. So our new loan that we got is a 20-year term, 30-year AM, 4.67% interest, 3 years interest only, and we have a step-down prepayment penalty. So that's the summary of the passive income and the loan details that I thought you guys would be interested in.
So the prepayment penalty means that we can't sell it.
No, we can.
We just have to pay.
We have to pay, prepayment penalty. And so there's numerous, when you're doing a commercial loan, and this is news to me because it's our first one, there's different prepayment penalty options. So when we talked to our partner, they suggested, hey, why don't you ask them for this one? And I think it's like 5544332211. So depending on how soon we potentially would sell. Now this is a long-term hold for us, so we're not selling. But that's the prepayment penalty. Even if we do another refinance. Then in year 3, let's just say after we do our 3 years of interest only, we want to refinance again because of the market or because of whatever reason, we'd have to pay 554. So we're in the 4% prepayment penalty for that box. So that really forces you to take into consideration whether you're going to refinance because that's a big penalty. And in the loan documents, I'm sitting there reading them. Thank you that I had to read them because I told Flip, I'm like in there going, I'm dying reading loan documents.
I can show the text message that said, I am more than willing to come over and help you. But she knows how I read legal documents. Yeah. I read 2 words and went, oh, this is boring.
Or I don't understand any of that. So
notwithstanding hitherto.
Anyways, I'm reading all of them, and they literally talk about the prepayment penalty as a business. They're like, we are a business. We are loaning you money, and we have this money to loan because we have other investors who loan to us, and that's how you build up all this money, right? Well, they plan their business based on these loans. And if you pay off their loan, well, that just screwed up their business model because now they don't have that monthly payment that they were counting on. Yep. So they force you to pay a penalty in order for them to recapture and have enough time to do what they need to do. That's not, it obviously doesn't say it like that in the loan documents, but I was like, oh, I believe that really makes sense.
I believe that's called a restocking fee.
Sure. Anyways, we thought you would be interested in hearing the numbers behind the scenes because not everybody shares all of these nitty-gritty details with you. And we want to be very transparent with you because most of you are passive investors who want to invest with us. And we wanted to share with you our very first deal transparently start to finish and what it looked like. And we're super excited how it turned out. And for those of you who are active investors, now you get to kind of see what an apartment deal looks like without actually having gone through what we did. You just saw, a stitch in time. So this new deal may not have the same numbers or the bigger margins because, when you get your deal, when you buy, right? That's where it comes in. And this one was about $1 million cheaper than even our newest 48 unit, but our newest 48 unit is in a much nicer area. So there's lots of differences.
Stronger rents.
Stronger rents. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, and join the Investor Club.
Yes.
That way you can hear about all the deals that we're working on. And I don't think there's any new deals lately because I haven't heard about them. Granted, I don't always hear about any of them. But anyway, make sure you join the Investor Club. Make sure you're checking out the swag over there and also checking us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and all of the other ones.
That's right.
Even the ones that I don't even know about. That's how good we are. But we like to end all of our episodes with
Invest smart.
Live happy.
Bye everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.